Evening, ladies and gentlefolks, and my lovely NBs. We are here live in the Riverside Arena in Winnipeg. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Christopher Whalen. How are you doing, my dude?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I am very excited to go ahead and call for game two, as I do fill in for poor Ryan, because I believe the last game kind of got into his throat a little bit, but we are now here to go ahead and focus on this game here. Some amazing showings here from game one, and now we're going to see some more action from these young players here in game two.
Absolutely. And I think actually it was probably the really awful pun I that did him in. He was slowly dying off in the corner since the end of the last game. So thank you for coming and filling in for him on such short notice.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, like I've got a chance to. I'm of course, as you know, I've been around talking to a lot of these young players. Some of them are on the court right now, and it's been very interesting to see how they've been able to play so well, especially with players like Victorson, Bivens, and of course Qatar, who I've spoken with a little bit earlier in the week as well, who has really kind of showed a great showing at game one.
Yeah, and this is kind of going to be a gauntlet for these young players. This is going to kind of be something like they're never going to have to do again in the FBA, which is play two games back to back, and really just everything on the line, trying to show their stuff to prospective teams, hoping that they're that they can put their best foot forward, or flip it forward, or tail forward, or whatever it is that they're trying to display for these fine folks.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited to see how well these guys do. And of course, as I'm saying, that we're seeing these players going down right now. Yeah, like I said, a lot of the fans here are very excited to see these young players get down to the gritty as we start things off here in the tip off. And of course, the elites, the team in red, gets the first shot at the rock. No Dukes. Trying to sip in, but gets fouled there. So he'll go from the line for two. Very well, not go on the line, but it still will be elite ball. But that's not something you really want to see started here in the early going of this game.
No, we're 9 seconds in. You really don't want to see those kind of fouls happening, especially with a potential new player on your team. It's interesting I mentioned in the last game, these players have brand new teams now. They have to work with a whole new set of people, and you really can't afford to make those mistakes.
Davenport being able to lay that one in as she's able to give the Stars a lead to 2-0 as we went past the first minute of this game. And now Dukes answering right back as he lays it home. Now both teams really relying on the paint here. And we get a nice steal there. Right now to get the hold it back. Trying to drive into the paint, lays it up, and it is good. Marchesi, I'm hoping I'm saying this right, because these names can get a little bit difficult to kind of pronounce as the game goes on. But giving the lead to the elite 4-2.
You can't do any worse than Eastman was doing with the names, so.
Yeah, now Rendahi trying to go for a teardrop of their own, and he's able to get the second chance opportunity as he ties it right back up 4-4. Now Patterson. Look it over to pass over to Motrone. And now Lee trying to lay it up, and it's good.
Both teams trying to find their footing here in the first quarter of the second game.
Yeah, both of them really relying on the paint quite often. Didn't see a little bit of their range, but we could see it here as Rendahi does get the rock. Asking for a screen. Does get it. Has a wide open lane. Go for the double crutch layup, and it's good. Really showing his athleticism there. As Mads now scoring 2 for 3 as he ties it back up 6 apiece.
We're starting to see that return to perimeter play here in the first quarter as people are kind of feeling things out.
Yeah, and we see the Elite once again getting the quick lay-in. I believe that was Lee with that
I think
easy
you're right,
lay-in.
yeah.
Yep, extending the lead up two. But of course, the Stars are answering right back after that basket, and both teams very even here with very high percentages. Of course, all of them within 15 feet. We'll see if they can try to adjust and try and take away those lanes. And that seems to be the case. It gets deflected and stolen by Maria Davenport. And of course, Divins tries to lay it up and in, and they do take the lead 10-8 with 9 minutes left in the first quarter.
Bivens being such a critical player in the first game here off the bench, now getting to prove his worth here as a starter.
Yeah, for sure. We get a quick reach-in foul by Hopkins. I believe that is her first personal, so it'll still be Elite's ball. We'll see if they can try and take advantage of it, as they are down by 2 with less than 8:50 left in the first quarter. So Marchesi got the screen, has the switch, could possibly see them extend the lead with the perimeter shooting. We haven't seen too much of it, but it gets blocked pretty easy. Good defense there by Divins. Now Rendahi with the rock. Looking over to Maria. Maria hands it over to Hopkins. Really trying to find some kind of opening, and they do get there. Some great passing there into the paint through the center McField, as Candace does extend the lead for the Stars up to 4. Now Lee going over to Dukes, and Duke slams it home. So right now, the paint is still being a huge asset for both teams.
Duke showing there that that first game was like almost nothing. We had a mismatch here at the basket.
Yeah, and Duke's getting a quick rebound here. Now the Elites have an opportunity to tie the game, but it's defended well, but McField gets called for the foul. So the Elite will have a chance to get 2 points for the charity stripe.
Hopefully the players will do a little better here in this game than they did the last one.
Yeah, for sure.
Take a break. 2 shots.
So I'm actually kind of curious of hearing your take on the mindset of these young players being able to play in a stadium like this after witnessing Winnipeg winning the championship and being able to play on a court like this, and after seeing all the amazing story that's been seen.
Well, I think
From
the
the
league was extremely smart when they grew wise to having the championship team host the combine for the following year. It really kind of solidifies for these young athletes that not only could these dreams happen to them, but it's very real. You still have these players from Winnipeg that are still around. They're still using the facilities even on the off season, and to have that opportunity to really kind of see where it all happened, see the facilities of the current champions, I think it instills a lot of confidence in these players.
Yeah, I totally agree 100%, as we get to see our first 3 ball, but no good as it hits the side of the rim. So not a great start there for perimeter wise for the Stars. But right now, Marchesi's trying to lay it up, but it gets blocked. Marchesi hands it over to Patterson. You listen to the Elites trying to find some kind of answer as they try to go to overlap, but with the paint, and it is good. And now they have tied it up 12 apiece. We'll see if the Stars are able to bounce back and try and keep the lead on their side. Now Hopkins loses the ball, but gets called for the foul. I believe that was... Now there's going to be a costly turnover there. So the Elite will have a chance to take the lead with that mistake.
It'll be interesting to see which of these teams sort of breaks away from the other. Both of them were pretty evenly keeled in the first game for at least through the first quarter. But the Elite's already in a bonus situation here.
Yeah, Clemens got called for the foul.
Shoot 2.
So now we'll see the Elite probably take the lead for the first time in a while. And they're able to do just that with that basket. We'll see if the second one will fall through as they prepare for the second one.
Free throw shooting for the night is below 40% right now. So,
I mean, it happens, but Marchesi was able to get both of them down, so now they're up by 2. Marchesi has really been a very strong showing as we get a quick timeout there for the Stars as they get to talk things out, probably get some adjustment in. So as we are at the halfway point of the first quarter, who do you think has been had a pretty good start going into game 2?
Well, I think any of the starters here are doing pretty good here. I'm sorry. I was zoning out there for a second. I did not hear your question at all. It went straight over my head. I tried to answer it anyways, and that just didn't work for me.
It's fine. It happens to the best of us. Like, I don't know if you're having a little bit too much happy juice from what I've been hearing.
Oh no, I'm fine. I'm getting tired watching these players in the court, and I'm not even out there with them. They've been going at it for the last 5 or 6 days now, and it's exhausting just to think about it.
Well, Maria Davenport has been able to get this basket to tie things right back up. I know I have to probably see the full name of Let's Say Maria because we have 2 Marias that are in the top 24, so that's going to be fun to deal with. But the Elite has been able to keep the lead going as they're now up by 2. And Davenport hands over to Vadahi. Got a quick screen. Trying to find a way to get into the paint as it really helped as Divins goes ahead and get the quick 5-footer to tie things right back up again, 16 apiece. I do hope we get to see some kind of range on the 3-point line because we haven't seen too much of it, and we could see it here, but no good there on Valerio, as I say that. No, Reedy. Lots of passing for the Stars, but it gets blocked very easily. And right now, the Elites are starting to step up when it comes to their defense. We'll see if they can transition to that into a solid offensive position as Lee got the switch. Dishes over to Dukes, and Dukes lays it in with ease. Great play call there for the Elites. So as this game continues to go on pretty strong, as Clarence loses the ball there, and the Elite are doing a fantastic job defensively, just really shaking up the Stars as Duke's able to get another quick transition too, and they have been owning the paint. And even though the game has been close, it seems like the Elite are a little bit more in sync.
Just a little bit here. They're definitely finding their footing more easily than the Stars are.
Yeah, now Brandahi is trying to find a way to dish it into the paint, but it gets deflected once again. It just seems to be the theme here, and the Elite might start be pulling away if they get a quick opening. Get a nice drive there, but it is no good. Clemens with the rebound. The Stars trying to find a way to slow down the momentum, and they do just that. Rindal has been able to really been the answer as he scores 8 of the 18 points for the Stars. Right now we see a quick mid-ranger that's good for the Elite as they do could extend the lead back up to 4. And that was Raymond Lee. Raymond Lee going for 10 points. So good showing for both of those players. in the early going of the game.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, another Mario. Looking for a little bit of an ISO play. He tries to go around, and he gets fouled and one. That was some excellent play, being able to draw that foul with ease. And now they have a chance for that old school 3-point play, and it's not going to happen this time. And so I can really see that, like, free throws have not really been the forte, as Evans tries to go up and it gets fouled by Stipley. So he'll go on the line for 2. First one is good. And now we're seeing a quick substitute for Valerio, as Hoskett gets some time. And Evans does make the second, so now they're only down by 4. Now Tarrega hands it over to Hoskett. So right now, these plays have started to develop a little bit slowly on the Elite's end. And right now, we're seeing the quick zooming up in and lays it up and in. What great speed there.
Well, you've got these players who have just gotten used to passing to half these players and defending against the other half, and struggling to remember who's on their team, despite the fact that their uniforms are bright red or bright blue.
It's just kind of one of those things where both teams are just trying to, like I said, outside of possibly playing with each other on the same team in colleges and stuff, they haven't really had a lot of chemistry together, as they have been going up against one another within the combine, throughout the combine this week, and just trying to find a way to find what sticks, because they could be potential players in the near future, as we have teams who do have multiple picks. If we get a quick layup for the Elites as they're up by 6.
And that's partly what I think a lot of coaches and scouts are looking for in this second half here is a lot of these players have proven what they can do. Now they're looking to see if these players can work with each other.
And that certainly can be the case. Acosta tries to lay it up, but it gets blocked, and Acosta not really doing much there, as the defense was really hard this time. And I think the one thing you have to really kind of admire for, let's get a quick mid-ranger that's good, as the Elite has really made quite a bit of a comfy lead.
Yeah, they've built themselves a little bit of a cushion here. We're starting to see a repeat of the last game, despite the switch up of players here.
Yeah, and Laturi was able to, Laturel has been able to get that rebound after a nice defensive block. So we'll see if the Elite can continue to extend that lead, and it's not be the case. Now the Stars trying to pick up the pace just a little bit, as Evans trying to look into the drive, and he does lay it up, and it is good. Subic using that range of his arm to really kind of go around that defender as he leaves it up and in.
That shot before from Kincaid, little cold after her first game appearance after scoring 30 points.
Yeah, and Clemens able to take advantage, as now they're starting to climb back into this game as we end the first quarter off with the Elite up by 4, 30-26.
Again, we're seeing a very offense heavy game here. Not always the case in these repeat combine games, but given how the last game went, I'm certainly not surprised that we're already putting up 30 points from at least one of these teams in the first quarter.
Yeah, for sure. I think really the big theme for both of these squads is how they've been able to take advantage of being able to get into the paint. Like, really the defense within the paint has not been that strong for either side as the Stars cut the deficit down to 2, 30-28. So hopefully we get to see both of these squads try to split it up as Stimley goes for 3, but it is no good.
Well, I mentioned before that like this is really a missed opportunity for a lot of these young players who are looking to get those scoring plays. If you can really plant yourself at the post and really defend some of these shots that are going off from both sides, you're really gonna shine in this clearly offense heavy draft class.
Yeah, and right now, we've seen both teams trying to see if they can get something going on the three-point line, but it's to no avail. But we do have an opportunity for an old-school three-point play after the Elites are able to draw that foul. So now we're hoping to see if that will be the case, as Kinkade is able to get it down. So far, both of these teams have done pretty well trying to get into the paint, but I still want to see if the range is there when it comes to the three-point line. Is Qatar again trying to drive into the paint, and it is good, but hey, whatever works in this case.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know the people are definitely realizing that if you can get those points up in the paint, then why not? As we see the Elite score once again.
Yeah, now the Elite defense as he's trying to get another quick layup, and it is good. So now look at the Elite getting points off of turnover. That's kind of been another big theme here. The Stars have been turning the ball over quite often, already with 5 in this game alone. But we get another and one opportunity. So I would say in the early going in this game, we're seeing quite a lot of fouls often as Evans able to get the 3rd point as they're now down by 4.
The point guard showing that he can bring the bacon home, as it were.
Yeah, right now, hopefully they can get some kind of stop here. As now, right now, we get a quick long 2, and it makes it too easy. Now we're seeing a little bit of the range extended there.
Well, I think people are getting more comfortable on this court now. Again, you know, a lot of these players used to college ball, not quite used to the proportions of this court here. But finally settling into kind of where these lines are, where these demarcations are, and where I think we're gonna start seeing fewer of these long 2s and maybe a couple more risky 3s as they figure out their timing here.
Mandeville taking advantage of the paint once again. But yeah, that's something that I would really like to see, because I know that like in these game scenarios, we have to continue trying to do the best that you can, depending on the game awareness. But of course, you're trying to show yourself off as well, as once again we get another quick score in the paint. And now Hoscut trying to go toe for toe with the defender, and he's able to get it down pretty easily.
Showing off a little bit there. Red Panda doing very well in the last game.
I'm sure you're happy about that one. Yeah, right now the Stars are showing that they are willing to score just as much too. They just need to find a way to get some kind of defensive styles, because that's kind of been the main struggle for the Stars especially.
Well, I'm kind of looking at the roster here. The Stars are, on average, I think they're about 2.5 inches shorter than the Elites here. And that may have something to do with it.
Yeah, but now we get a good stop there as Hopkins does get the steal. Acosta trying to go for a quick layup, but it's no good. Really trying to pick up the pace here. No Stimley. Ended up to Barn. Brown going over to Hoska is getting defended pretty well as Laturi. Goodness, excuse me. I'm really having a little bit of a struggle, but Lateral's able to get the quick 2. And the Qatar got the screen. Trying to see if they can find a leak in the pen, but it gets losing the ball, but Qatar does scoop it up. McPhail tries to lay it up, and it is good, making something out of nothing. It could have easily been a turnover went the other way.
Mandeville working extra overtime there. No, fortunately, no result for all that wheel spinning.
Yeah, and Hoska trying to get for that mid-ranger, but it is no good. So now the Stars have a chance to cut it down to 4. Get a nice behind to the back pass there. Over to Hopkins. Hopkins just not being able to use it, but it does get picked up by McPhail, and it is good. And they have a chance for a 3-point opportunity. And McPhail was able to get it down. So now the deficit's only down by 3. The Stars really taking advantage of opportunities of, recovering from what could have been a disaster. Now the Elites are going to have to try and respond and calm down the Stars as Varen tries to lay it up, but it is no good as McPhail does get the rebound. Maria Davenport has the rock. Of course, the crowd is really trying to show us the favoritism. The Elites, we get a quick dunk there. Nice alley-oop. Oh, was that actually made?
No, they didn't go in.
Oh my goodness, it wasn't a 10. I was like, I thought it went in for a second.
Oh, no. You gotta make those. If you're gonna show off, you gotta make those dunks.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to show your jumping ability at that point. But if it's not gonna go down, it's all for naught. You're just wasting energy.
That's gonna make the not top 10 for the week, for sure.
Yeah, and now we're seeing both teams trying to scrap it up after that initial play, and Vario's able to show how it's done. Valerio with the quick slam as they extended the lead back up to 5. And now Hopkins does get the screen. Trying to get some spacing to get into the paint, but gets blocked way too.
And here's the problem with these mismatches here. Hopkins really has to get past the fact that people have to try to kind of tower over her, and so she knows this. She knows she's facing a lot of formidable opponents, and I think they grow them even bigger here in the FBA as they do in the FBL. So she'll get used to that. She'll find her way.
Yeah, that's certainly going to be the major adjustments for a lot of international players. Varia's tried to go for a long 3, but it's no good. But yeah, that's just going to be those kind of adjustments. As the FBA, they have a lot of bigger and more and more swole furs coming into the league. As the Stars is able to cut a deficit now back down to 3. And it's just up to these players to really kind of learn how to adjust and show their strut. As Lee's able to get the mid-ranger. And that's pretty good. Now Victorson. Getting a little bit of ISO play going. And he draws the foul and 1. Astrid doing a really good job to cut that deficit down to 3 and could possibly get it down to 2.
Well, I think the Stars are seeing this opportunity of let's draw the foul, let's make the play, and let's get that and 1. Kind of erase what happened in the first game with some of these free throws, and hopefully show that, hey, actually we can make these charity points if given the opportunity here. So hopefully she'll do the same, and she does.
Yep. And that's kind of really the big thing is you got to remember that even though free throws are a single point, every point matters. We've seen scenarios time and time again where a team that really just needed 1 point can end up really costing them the entire game, especially late.
Oh yeah, for sure. Every single point counts in the FBA, and they add up to, you don't realize how important those free throws are there until until you miss them.
Ooh. And we get a quick dunk there from Aridi. Helen just showing off that athleticism as she dunks it home.
I think some of these players are starting to get a little cocky. They're a little, it's late in the night, so they're all getting a little punchy here. I think.
Yeah, I'm sure. And to be honest with you, you want to be able to show that kind of athleticism. I'm sure a lot of highlights would be made here as we get a quick layup there for the. And that's kind of one of those things that, yes, this is supposed to be a in-game scenario, seeing how well you work with others in this case, but you want to be able to show that, and really showing the best there. She tries to go for a layup and gets swatted out really easily. And now we get a quick finger roll layup, and it is good for Marchesi, as Marchesi is able to get her second field goal of the game. Now Maria Dalmore heads over to Divins, and Divins goes for that mid-ranger, and it is good.
Bivens, another red panda here. One of the strong contenders in the first game off the bench. A bit colder here in the second game, despite starting, but still putting up a decent showing here.
So Rick is able to get the quick steal as Victorson, accidentally steps out of bounds. That's not something you really want to see there, but of course these players are young, so they are prone to make some unforced errors here.
That's when you start doing suicides to make sure that you get as close to that line as possible, but don't touch it.
Yeah, Marchesi's able to get the quick score again, and that'll be her 8 points. 8 points and 3 assists so far in the first half. And then we get a quick dunk there for Aridi once again. Helen's kind of really making a name for themselves, as that dunk was very clean. Could be a potential contender for the dunk contest.
Aridi definitely showing off here, for sure.
Yeah, there was another quick score there for the Elite. But right now, look, they're going to see if they can get the last possession of this game for half of the Stars. Get some quick movements. Instead, going for that mid-range of their own, and it rattles. And with that, final heave, it's going to be no good. So we're going to end the offense first half 59-55, going over to the Elite squad. And I have to say that this really is shown to be one of the most offensive-oriented drafts in a while, because goodness gracious.
Absolutely. These players are going at it even harder than they were in the first game. And some of that is just that adrenaline pumping. It's you've got the cameras shining on you. You've got the sound of the crowd behind you, and a lot of these players haven't seen that since March, given the FCAA tournament. So I'm sure for them there's so much just happy to be back on the court.
Yeah, for sure. As looking at the stats, Raymond Lee doing very impressive with 12 points and 3 assists so far in this game. What a great game for him. And looking at other players, as Marchesi and Dukes both have 8 points. Dukes really a better showing here, as he's perfect from the field goal, as he makes all 4 of his shots. And of course, Lazzarelli with her 6 points. Of course, once again, also perfect. Really just relying on the paint for a lot of these players, which in result give them these very high percentage field goal in when it comes to the field goals made.
Yeah, I really want to see them stop taking some of these easy shots and really start trying to work on some more impressive shots here.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but I think it's really important for those to really take those high efficiency scores as well. And as we get a chance to look at some of these final box scores, as we head straight over to the Stars.
Kincaid there, shooting 9 for the bench. Still trying to prove that she's not that tired after that first game.
hmm And looking into the Stars, the biggest one right now, McField, doing a fantastic job with 9 points, 4 rebounds, and a block to her name. I mean, Maria's really popped off here, as well as McField. Oh, excuse me, actually got them mixed up. But yeah, McField's able to be perfect, 9 points and 4 rebounds and a block, and Maria was able to get 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists in a block. So doing a little bit of everything. Aurora with 2 points so far and a rebound and 2 assists. Not much going offensively for her. Neither is for Randall. Well, no, Randall got 10 points and 2 assists. Excuse me, I can't read right now. But yeah, right now, Radahi's been one of the major players, and Evans as well, coming off the bench with 7 points and 2 for 3, and those 3 free throws have been a huge help for the Elite trying to stay into this game.
Absolutely.
And of course, Natalie Davenport, as well as Acosta, getting 2 points for each. And Qatar doing a little bit of everything with the limited amount of playing time.
Qatar, another one of those players who absolutely dominated in the first game. Now taking a bench spot, but still, holding their own.
Yeah, now we're getting ready to start off with the third quarter. What are some of the things that you're going to be looking for here? I know for me, definitely they can get more looks on the perimeter and really just showing the extent of their range as for each of these players.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all know that you love a good perimeter shot. I'm looking to see if these players have been playing for 36 minutes now. Who's got the court awareness to make those unexpected plays happen?
Yeah, we almost got to see that there for the Elite side as the Stars almost lost the ball there, but Maria Davenport was able to get it down, but she's not able to finish it home as the Elite does get the rebound. And we get a quick dish to Patterson, and Patterson is able to take advantage of the size difference as that was an easy 2-pointers. And look at the field goal percentage, 64-60. Like both these teams are really hot right now as, excuse me, Divins able to lay it up and in once again in the paint. Now Patterson. Goes over to Lee. Lee's trying to lay it up, but it gets blocked. But now,
Looking to
Bivens.
tie it up here.
Oh, Bivens trying to tie it up, but loses the ball in the process. And so that was another turnover there for the Elites. Elites have been doing a really good job trying to take advantage of these turnovers and not able to get it down that time. But the Stars need to find a way to calm themselves down and not try and force their way into the paint as often, because that could be easy pickings for any defender, as we've been seeing that result quite often throughout this game. But Bivens is able to tie things up 61 apiece as Bivens does get his 12th point as he's 6 for 8 so far, which is very impressive.
No, felt like he needed to make up for that last play.
Yeah, for sure. Lees tries to lay it up, but it's no good. And we get a quick block there as Hopkins trying to get some answers, but dishes over to Bivens, and Bivens once again scores and takes the lead for the Stars.
Now we're seeing him heat up a little bit here in the second half.
Yeah, right now Lee's trying to has an answer about that as they tie it back, up 63 apiece. So far, both teams have been really relying on the high efficiency of the paint. If we get a try at attempt or a teardrop, but is no good because it hits the.
I think we're going to start seeing this accuracy drop a little bit as these players are getting tired. I say that, and
Yeah, you say that as Valerio is able to go ahead and get the quick layup. They are really taking advantage of the poor defensive effort within the paint. And right now, McField. Yeah, McField is able to draw the foul on Dukes. So McField gets to go on the line for 2. Been an interesting battle between seeing these two big furs go at it. And I think they really going to have to show that they are
Take a break.
probably
Take
one
a
of the
break.
best of the best because
Two
of the
shots.
fact that in free agency there's a lot of big that are in free agency right now that have made a name for themselves. So they kind of have to try and compete for any kind of starting spot. They have to really kind of show out in this battle between the two.
It's very true, and I feel kind of bad for this draft class coming in because there are a lot of really, really high-name free agents. You've got the draft class of 2020 that's been unleashed to the FBA world and now can get the first contracts. You've got a lot of veterans now who either renegotiated their contracts or have been let go because of amnesty, and now you've got the market is flooded with talent right now before this class comes in.
Yeah, and that's kind of really been the main struggle. Is Duke's able to lay it up at the end, it is good. And that's going to be one of those things where I'm sure a lot of these young furs realize that yes, this really huge dream comes true, and a lot of the business side of the FBA can be pretty haunting. As we get a quick rebound for Laterel. But of course, like, none of that matters in this third moment. Right now, the biggest thing is to just really show your strut here in the FBA as you get more accustomed to the FBA rules and being able to really get accustomed to this type of setting. As we're dying.
One thing these players have going for them is the fact that the players can't accept contracts until after the first round of the draft, and if a team manages to get a pretty high draft pick and snag one of these really kind of elite centers or some of these players that are kind of shining, they may have that opportunity to cancel their bids on some of these other players in the market.
Yeah, Maria Downboard dunking it home as now we are tied 69 apiece. That's very nice. And right now, both teams trying to see if they can continue relying on the paint as Duke tries to lay it up, and it is no good. McField does get the rebound. And of course, Marchesi passing over to Lee. Lee going for 3, and it is good. And I think that's the... Oh, no, it's a long 2, excuse me.
Very long 2 there.
Very, very long 2. I honestly thought it was a 3 ball right there.
Toeing the line there barely, but, these refs don't always see what we see.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and that's kind of been, and that's got to be frustrating for a player, being able to be like, man, I was there. I just get it. But of course, these refs really want to show that, yeah, this is how the game works in this case. We can't really give you like, as Laterel does get the layup and extend the lead 73-71 as we're getting close to 5 minutes left in the third quarter. And that's going to be something to be accustomed to as Maria looking for the screen and going for a tough long 2 once again.
Another 2, yeah.
I was like, we finally get a 3, but that's pace. But it was still a great shot there nonetheless. Now, get a quick block there. So McField really doing a little bit of everything right now. As Raymond Lee is 50% for shooting, which is actually pretty good. But of course, shooting quite a lot for the Elite. And now Rendall got the screen, going for three, maybe? No. Lazzaro does get the rebound.
Are you trying to live vicariously through these young athletes? Are you wishing you had taken more threes in your
Well, I mean, in my defense, I was technically a regular. I was not as big as my brother. And I think it's just because of the fact that this is kind of the name of the game. It's just a lot of teams do rely on the three ball a little bit. Though this year we might see a little bit of a change in that philosophy, as Winnipeg has kind of thrived relying into the paint that led them to the championship as well. So obviously this class kind of came in and really kind of showed that shift could be changing quite a bit. But the first one does not go in for Rendall.
And
the second one doesn't go in for Rendall.
Here we go, heading back towards that 35% free throw rate. I have to disagree with you here. I think just because this draft class is not three-point specialist heavy does not mean that teams are not looking to fill that spot. I think with the free agency, especially with these rookies showing that they're kind of reluctant to take those threes, that does open up for some more veteran players who might have that specialty to be able to come in on some of these teams where these draftees are kind of showing that I hate to say it, they're lacking a little bit.
Yeah, I can understand that sentiment, but of course, these players are fairly new. If you get another unforced turnover there, and that's kind of been a big issue in this game as well from both sides, to be honest. But more specifically, the Stars is once again another failed shot within the paint. But I think, of course, with these players being as young as they are and still trying to be more accustomed to it, as get a nice shot there once again from our reading, is that they can still develop into being prominent shooters. I mean, yeah, some teams are looking for like immediate help, but we all know the realization for some teams that they're still trying to rebuild into being prominent, and it's going to be something that a lot of teams are going to have to look into, and being willing to help these players extend their ranges and become a viable player behind that three-point line.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this playoff season was really telling. We had two lower seeded teams come to the finals. I think that says a lot about like where the teams are and which teams really need to rebuild for this upcoming season. And a big part of that is finding the pieces in this new draft class. We find these diamonds in the rough and get them for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, Riddy with their 8-point, and even though that they haven't really scored as much, they've been flashiest of ways as the Stars really started to extend the lead back up to 4. Well, it got cut down to 4, excuse me. But the Stars really just trying to find a little bit of control here as Rendall gets the quick dunk. And that was very ferocious.
Well, with the Elites being all, being up pretty much all game long, I think the Stars are finally finding their footing.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a reversal here, and now it's the Elite time to find some kind of answer to get back into this game. They have to rely on see if they can get force of turnovers once again to really kind of stop the bleeding here. But of course, that's not going to be a great start, taking another tough long perimeter shot. As now the Stars have a chance to extend the lead once again and get a quick dish back into the paint. And Arita's going to take that easy jump. Thank you very much. And now they're up by 8. Have a chance to turn this into a double-digit lead, which would be the first one throughout this entire game.
Absolutely. And again, this is the court awareness that I was talking about. Like if you can make those plays happen because you're the only one by the post, you know, that's going to say a lot more than someone who's maybe put up more points than you.
Yeah, but Natalie Davenport's able to lay it up and in. And now that goodness gracious, I think it's another thing I'm going to have a problem here as we get a quick steal there. As Natalie handed over to Ariti. So a lot of passing there for the Stars as they're looking to be able to see if they can take that final shot here for the third quarter. And it goes for a long three. There it is. There's the three.
There you go.
Finally got it. And that's going to end the third quarter. And what a great shot there, as now they are up by 11, 90-79. We gotta say, that's a great way. That's a great feeling there for making that 3-point shot. The first one of the game, I believe. Either team has really extended it far enough to where they can count it as a 3.
Yeah, I think there's one or two all game long that's actually, you know, connected.
Yeah, and so being able to show that is a really good thing, but we'll see if the Elite Eight try and climb back as they do got the double digits, as they need to find a way to climb back in.
They keep giving it to Kincaid, they'll do that.
Yeah, Kincaid, 13 points so far in this game, really showing their offensive prowess very well.
From the bench, no less.
Yep, and then Mandeville gets the quick rebound, so the Elite's trying to find a way to cut this deficit down a little bit more, probably see if they can try and exploit the paint once again, as they're not able to do that with that shot. Bivens does get the board.
Seeing a lot of these bench players who were starting the first game, I think they're starting to see, oh wait, we only got 11 more minutes to show what we can do. Let's you know, we can sleep after the game. Let's push hard as far as we can for these last moments where we can kind of maybe close that gap in a little bit.
Yeah, right now Ariti, once again showing that strut, is Darg's looking to try and lay it up, but it's no good. Both teams starting to cool off a little bit. Of course, as I say that, Victorson gets the quick lay-in, as they're now up by 13, 94-81. Kincaid trying to see if they can get a quick adjustment. Gets the screen, has the switch, has an open shot. Sorry about that. Has an open lane to the shot, and he lays it up.
She's
so Maria
on fire
Kincaid
all day tonight.
Yeah, she has really been a great asset, really trying to use that speed to get to the paint. And we get a nice block there as Mandeville gets the rebound. And now the Elite's trying to see if they can try and cut the deficit even more back to single digits. Get a quick spin, and it is no good, but they do foul on Bivens. So they'll go on the line for 2. Yeah, right now it's just been a lot of points coming from the mid-range for the Stars. The first one goes in for the Elite, and now they have cut the deficit down to 10. This one does cut the deficit single digits.
Seeing those starters come back on the court.
Yeah, and Valerio is able to get both free throws down, as they're now only down by 9, 94-85, with less than 10 minutes. I know in this scenario, we have seen a lot of things happen. So, of course, the Elite can have an opportunity to bounce back, but
Here's your
we
three.
see another three-pointer. Now they're starting to rack up a little bit here in Game 2, as the Stars once again bring that deficit up to 12. They're doing a good job trying to maintain that lead and get that cushion. And of course, the Elite's trying to find some kind of answer within the paint. They've kind of calmed down a little bit there on that spot, and now the Stars have an opportunity to extend the lead once again, and they will do just that with a nice dish from to McField. Really great play being called there.
Great court awareness there by Hopkins.
Yeah, right now Lee going for a good mid-ranger, and it is good. And so Lee with 18 points so far in this game. So Lee is really also came on pretty well. But of course the Stars already about to hit that century mark with only 8 minutes left in the game. They could be on pace of getting like 110 or 120. But of course it depends on if the Elites are able to lock them down, as Duke's able to get the quick dunk, as they're only down by 10, 99-89.
See the Stars trying to hold on to their lead here.
And right now McField trying to lay it up, and it is good. And they do hit the century mark with the 101. We're really learning today as we get to see a possibility of the old school three-point play. And McField's not able to get that done. But again, the quick turnover as Bivens tries to lay it up, but it is no good. Oh my goodness, that would have been a disastrous turn of events if the Elite were able to get that costly turnover. But they were able to try and prevent that from happening, but they weren't able to get the score here as Bivens tries to lay it up again. But we get a quick cleanup there from McField as he dunks the rebound. And now they're up by 14, 103-89.
Reggie Biv doing some really cold shooting right now.
Yeah, right now Duke's trying to desperately get something out of nothing, but the defense is just too much there for the Stars. Evans looking into Bivens, and Bivens gets blocked there by Dukes. Now Patterson trying to get into the paint, but he gets fouled there, so by Bivens, and now we get this. Now we have the opportunity for the Elite to stop the bleeding, get a chance to break into 90 at least. And we'll see if that's going to be the case, as the first one has been made. And the second one is not going to be good as McField gets the rebound.
Shaking my head in disbelief at the number of free throws missed.
Yeah, there's been quite a good number of free throws that have not went down for both sides, really. But of course, the Stars are extending the lead up to 15. Now, in this case, with 6 minutes left of the game, and the Elite trying to lead up, and it is good. So now it's down to 13. I know it's going to be one of those situations where, even though their deficit is down pretty big, they still have a little bit of a chance. What do you think? How these players are feeling to be in this kind of scenario? How do you stay motivated in this game?
You know, I think part of it is just, you know, watching, kind of watching the faces of you know, your respective coaches, and you know, you're kind of using that as a litmus test. If you're getting grinned at, then you know you're doing a pretty good job. If they're shaking your head at you, the same way I've been doing for the last couple of minutes here. Um, maybe try to up your game a little bit. Um, and the I think really at this point, like this is where this is last looks. This is your last impression before the draft, and that alone should be enough to really light a fire under your butt.
Yeah, for sure. Like no matter what the result is in this game, it doesn't necessarily matter too much. All that really matters here is, this is your showing. This is how you're able to see how well you can work with others. As we get another block there by Dukes, and really kind of just have those important highlights as Valerio is able to rip it up, and they do cut the deficit down to 13, and Valerio 12 points so far in this game, 8 of them in the paint. And there's certainly some big things that we can pick off here. Both teams probably do need to work on a little bit on the defensive side, especially when it comes to the players on the elite side, as we've seen the Stars already up to 111, and we get a quick blocking foul there. I believe Maria was trying to go for a blocking foul, but he said just had to call the other way. Yeah, but another thing is like looking at the amazing blocks here as well from both sides. And of course, with a quick highlight from the last one that we saw. But yeah, Marchesi hands it over to Dukes. Dukes going to pull on back, trying to see if there's an opening here. Is Marchesi tries to get the screen. Got the switch, going for a tough shot, but it gets blocked there by once again. And we're going to see if the Stars are able to take advantage, and they do just that with a power lead within the paint. Yeah, right now we get another costly turnover there by McField. It just seems like a lot of the players on the elite side is really just showing the exhaustion, which is understandable. Like, playing 2 games in a row is not really fun, especially on the same day. Because I've been in that scenario. It's not really to deal with,
especially with only like less than half an hour, 20 minutes to get some water and then get back on the court there, bucko.
Yeah, for sure. But of course, the Stars are really taking quite an advantage. Bibbins really taking advantage of what seems to be like an exhausted team in the elites, as they're now up by 17. And Duke's almost losing the ball here in the desperation of trying to keep it on their end of the ball. And they do just that as a star player. So they will keep the ball, but only with 10 seconds. We'll see if they're able to get some kind of shot going down. And it is going to go in and out as Maria gets the rebound.
Why you don't shoot from the free throws?
Yeah, no, and I think right now, at this point, this game is pretty much all but over, as the Stars clearly have done a really fantastic job of really being the one to have the most energy, as we get another 2 again, this time for Rindahl. 25 points so far, and what an excellent showing for Mads.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right now we're seeing the elite finally hit that century mark. We're only about 1 minute and 30 seconds left. So, what are some things that you've really taken notice from the game? What do you think has been your kind of been the standout player in your eyes?
Well, I think we just saw Lee putting up their 22nd point. I think in this game, just kind of watching how both Lee and Davenport have run these teams as their kind of unofficial field generals really kind of says a lot about their leadership skills here. Um, you also see I've been looking forward to this sort of Dukes McField rivalry that was going to be happening this game, and I'm definitely not disappointed by either one of them as well. I in a league that even though we've got a couple of bigs coming out in free agency, there's always need for centers and big first. So I think Dukes and McField are definitely two to watch after this game for sure.
Yeah, that's very excellent points. I mean, I definitely was looking at that center battle between the two because they've had some pretty good battles there into the paint. And of course, we get another foul there. This time it was a charging foul. And now we're seeing both benches empty. And to get these like final 20 seconds here is really it's been a fantastic showing, especially if you're a part of the Stars team. As we get to go ahead and wrap things up here as the Stars win 119 to 104. I'm gonna say it was certainly an excellent game on both sides. As we go ahead and get into the stats, as Raymond Lee with 22 points and 8 assists, really good showing offensively. But of course, Valeria with 14 points and 3 rebounds, 6 for 7, another great offensive showing. Patterson didn't really take advantage there with the 30 minutes offered to them, as they're only able to score 1 basket. Dukes, though, with 16 points and 11 rebounds. And Marchesi with 10 points and 10 assists. That is a great thing to see if you're looking for a point. And Lateral with 12 points and 4 rebounds. And Kincaidi, 50 points off the bench. That's a really excellent showing there from Kincaidi.
45 points altogether for the Cow tonight.
Yep, and Haskett going for 6 points and 3 assists. And of course, just a little bit of everything there for both Mandeville and Terega, and Varn, even though with very little points, got a rebound and a couple assists there and a couple of blocks. And of course, looking at the winning team of the Stars, Bivens with 16 points and 7 rebounds and 3 assists. Just a little bit of everything.
It's a full bingo card there.
Whew, the dude was going on. And Maria Davenport with 10 points and 5 rebounds and 5 assists, 3 blocks, doing 2. McField, though, 23 points and 10 rebounds. And of course, a couple of blocks to her name, too. With Hopkins going over with 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists. And Rendall with 25 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. And already with 14 points, perfect from the field. And obviously having quite a good amount of highlight well. And Davenport with 2 points and 2 rebounds and 2 assists and a steal. And Evans with 7 points, a rebound, and 2 assists. And then we have Clemens with 2 points and 2 rebounds. And Acosta with 2 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist. And wrapping it up with Victorson, I think, with 5 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist. Oh, excuse me, forgot about Qatar. With 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. And looking into the overall stats, and I think really the big thing here is the fact that while the Elite has been able to take advantage with some turnovers, I think as the game went on, you saw the exhaustion for the Elites as they started to really play softly on defense, especially within the paint, as the Stars were able to just take advantage of the paint super easily, being able to find those open looks there and getting some quick dishes in the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, you can see the exhaustion in both these teams at the end of the second game here. Um, you know, the this is such a grueling experience for both teams, in as much as uh, it's tough to play nearly an hour of basketball without stops. Um, and so my kudos to everyone uh, tonight. I think we had some really, really clear ideas of who to look out for in the draft. I think we have there were some slight disappointments in that respect as well. But the all this does is prove that the draft is going to be an exciting one, and that these players are all going to be great assets to whichever teams that pick them up.
Yeah, for sure. It's certainly a great showing for all the players here that were involved in the combine game as we introduced the top 24. And it's going to be an exciting time as we start really getting to the transition, getting the final rankings of 24, as well as we start slowly creeping in as free agency has officially started. We've seen quite a few contracts on the table for some players as the rumors keep on rolling, especially for a couple. And as well as being able to see the exciting time for these players to kind of assess and continue to really show what they're about. And really keeping an eye on seeing games like this, seeing how they did well in events, and it's just going to be a really good time. I'm very excited to see things play out as we are on the road to the draft.
Absolutely, and we'll definitely see you there in Las Vegas in a couple weeks, right? Will you be there?
Oh yes, for sure, 100%. I'm very
Um,
excited. I love the draft. I love being out there in Vegas, and I'm trying not to gamble my dreams away.
we'll see if they let me back on the mic after this showing at the rookie combine game here. But I'll be there in Vegas as well. Either way, and we'll see all these young players, young hopefuls there as well, along with the rest of the 2022 draft class.
Yep. And I think with that, I think it's been a great time to end this off here. I have been Marcus Baylor, and of course, it's been Christopher Whalen, and it's been a great night for us to really embrace the future of the FBA, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Yep. Have a great night, everyone, and see you in a couple weeks at the draft.